Hello and welcome to the debrief. It's Dave O'Neill here, heading out to the Gisborne Golf Club with regular...
Make them guess.
Yeah, who do you reckon it is, everyone? Who do you reckon he's been on the most times?
Going for a drive, do a little gig, then drive back with the chat. It's called the debrief. It's called the debrief. It's called the debrief. It's called the debrief. It's called the debrief.
It's me.
It's Bradford Oaks.
It's me, Bradford Oaks. Hello.
First one for the year, Brad, isn't it? Yeah, has it?
Is it?
Oh, we went with Tommy
No.
Little. When was that? That was
Yeah.
December, wasn't it? No, that might have been
no, that
that
was
might have been
January.
January. That was January, and you and him were pretty stonkered. Is that a way of saying it?
A bit loose, yeah.
Yeah, a bit loose, but that's all right. And anyway, we're going to the Gisborne Golf Club. So
I know, I love a bit of alliteration. Gisborne Golf Club.
and they've just rung up and asked, "What pizzas do you want?" So that's a good sign, and
Awesome.
they're very excited. They've got a big crowd turning up.
Do you reckon when they see us get out of the car, they're going to go, we're going to need a bigger pizza?
Yeah. Because I've had a few challenging gigs. If people are regular listeners to the podcast, it was only last night that I did the one with Ivan Aragustieta at the Catholic school.
How'd that go, Dave?
Yeah, that was interesting. Well, listen to the podcast and you can hear how it went. And then I went straight to another gig for a private party for a 50-year-old.
Oh, don't you love private parties?
Yeah, and it went great, but, you know, there were little kids there running around. They kept grabbing my feet, and then his mum started singing Baby Shark to them, so I joined in. So I'm looking forward to a conventional gig, you know.
Do you know, I did a private party once, and they said you had to keep it a secret from the guy who's I think, like yours, was turning 50, and he wanted to bash me.
Oh, man, I say to him, I've done the ones where you're a secret and they're no good, because unless you're Hughesy when you walk out, some people would know me, but I tell you what, 50%, as the girl introduced me last night, the young girl, we've organised Dave and Neil. He's famous if you're over 55. Cheers. Anyway, yeah, so and then you're just some fat guy insulting the birthday boy.
Exactly. You know, I'm just I'm a bit like, you know, that thing where you're just going, hey, I should explain myself, desperately trying to get out of it.
Yeah, and they hired me.
Yeah, he was well unhappy about it.
Oh, I don't know if I've talked about the one I did for this woman who was turning 40, maybe. She was an air hostess. And again, it was a long table in a restaurant in the city where she hadn't told... We didn't even have our own area. Yeah. She hadn't told the owners. And so there was no microphone. And I just stand at the end of the table. She said, I'm just going to say you're making a speech. And she was married to Fraser Brown's brother.
Right.
Fraser Brown was a Carlton player.
And you always do well with Carlton players.
Yeah, exactly. And known for punching on. And
Lance Whitnell.
Yeah, Lance Whitnell. And brothers were even rougher than him. Because they own tips. Oh, man, it was at least those guys, they got into it. They were laughing, and she said I couldn't swear, and they used the F word within about 10 seconds on me. So,
I did one where remember at the SB there used to be that
the basement
really great
bar
set design.
Oh yeah.
You know, those four young women who were art students from Caulfield.
Oh yeah. They used to sit down the front.
Lithographers.
Yeah.
They had an art show at Tolano.
Tolano?
And they asked me to make the...
It's a blast from the past. It was a restaurant, wasn't it?
Ian Hewson.
Ian Hewson owned. Yeah.
And they asked me to make a opening speech for them. And I said to them, I really don't like art shows. If I did it, I'd want to take the piss. And they said, that's why we're asking you. Right?
Great.
So I made this speech, but I got one of them to paint a half-finished work. And I had it on an easel next to me. And it's all their families there, you know, all their friends and family. And I had it on an easel next to me. And about 2/3 of the way through it, I contrived to slip and fall and punch my fist through this artwork, right? Well, you know, like in true dart artistic.
Yeah, fantastic.
And I misjudged the crowd because the crowd just went, "What have you fucking done?"
They've turned on you.
And they've turned, and I've just gone, "Wait, it's part of the show," which sounded so feeble, right?
Yeah, guys.
Until one of the girls jumped up and said, "It's really part of the show. It's really part of the show. I don't care. He asked me to paint it." So, you know, like, brilliant stunt goes horribly wrong. Anyway, later on, I'm sitting outside, and you know, I got it back, and you know, everybody's happy and so on. And you know, I did a little bit of stand up, and then I went outside and we're having a cigarette, and this girl came out, and she walks past me, and she comes back, and she goes, "You're a fucking vandal." And I said to her, "Sorry."
Where
No, she's going straight.
they go straight down.
Yeah.
I got a colder. You'd think so?
And she goes, "You're a fucking vandal." I said, "Hey, it was only a joke." She goes, No, you, I hate you. You're horrible." Anyway, I told one of the girls, and she
So
said,
she was serious.
She was serious, right?
Oh.
And she said to me, "Don't worry about her. She tried to buy the artwork before the show started."
The one you punched.
The one I punched. The one I commissioned to punch.
Oh, fantastic.
And she's just gone, "No, don't worry about her. She didn't know." But anyway, yeah. Private parties. Well,
Yeah, they're hard.
yeah,
They're hard.
Give me conventional stand-up any day.
Oh, I'm just getting flashbacks to all the ones I've done. This one where these guys saw me at a footy club, and they said, and no, he was a good guy, and he said, "Oh, a bit knockabout, kind of. I want you to come to my brother's party on Saturday night." I said, "I'm already in that area. I'll come along, whatever." And yet he was obviously the black sheep of the family because the brother was the CEO or the secretary of the National Bank or some.
Oh yeah,
And he was like the head guy of the National Bank.
right.
And his family was so posh. The wife, the kids.
Nice.
And the brother was obviously the... anyway.
So you were revenge.
I reckon I was.
Yeah.
I reckon I was. And then, oh, God.
But you know, I laughed the other night because, you know, if the listeners don't know, I filled in for you at your...
The fun house.
At the Dave O'Neill's Fun House. To a crowd who initially weren't that happy that I wasn't Dave O'Neill. But
yes.
they came round, I thought.
Yes.
But
I turned up eventually, man.
my butcher was in the crowd.
Yeah, Vaughan.
And anyway, at one stage I pointed him out.
And he bought his
9-year-old son.
Yeah.
And
It's always good for comedy.
well, you know, and every comedian had to
Address it. Yeah.
But eventually I said to the crowd, "This is my butcher Vaughan, who is from Ian's Meats in Brand." Can I say that, Dave?
Yeah, of course.
Brand Market. And
It's not Vaughan's Meats.
that's not Vaughan's Meats. And anyway, I said to the audience, "See, this is how much things have changed. 20 years ago, I would have my dealer at my gig.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I've got my butcher."
That got a good laugh.
I got a great laugh.
Yeah. And then Vaughan's kid said, "What's a dealer, Dad?"
Yeah,
Car dealer, son, car dealer.
God,
Okay.
have you ever seen a child look more bored?
I know.
It was just, you know, quite...
He wasn't taking any of it in, I don't think, that
Well,
kid.
no, because I did a gig on Thursday night, and there was a 9-year-old girl there, an 11-year-old girl there, and she loved it, and she got every single bit of it.
Where was this?
Oh, I did the graduation
Oh, yeah.
for the School of Hard Knock Lives, and
If anyone wants to try stand-up comedy in Melbourne, I think they tour a bit, don't they?
they do. They do.
It's actually a good course because it's only a couple of nights, and then they actually make you do a gig at the
Yeah.
end.
And her 18-year-old brother, had done the gig,
Oh, wow.
but she got everything, you know. And,
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I don't know if that's the difference between 9 and 11, or whether or not that's the kind of environment she's brought up in. But
Girls and boys a bit different too, I reckon.
yeah,
Just
you've
put
got
one.
to-
Just I noticed because I've got both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Girl, my daughter would love stand up. She finds it. Oh, then again, you know, we've been to kids shows and stuff. They've never seen me really do stand up. So.
How old's she?
14.
Yeah, right.
15.
You know, I do think that it's, you know,
I've told them I'm an accountant.
I know. I know 30-year-olds who don't get stand up. You know.
Yeah, I know.
But it's just it must be hell if it's not interesting. It must be hell if you're a child sitting there, because you know when you're a kid, things just don't end.
Yeah, it's like church.
Yeah. Kill me now.
Well, these kids should just be happy they're not in church, because that was the most boring time ever.
Yeah, and you know what? I expect, and somebody should know this, I suppose, but you know how uncomfortable church pews are?
Oh, terrible.
That must be deliberate.
It must be. There's no cushions, that's for sure.
No, but I imagine the moment you get comfortable, I mean, I could never do jury duty, you know? I'd just be straight away.
Yeah. Someone told me to get out of jury duty, just turn up with a huge crucifix around your neck. And they'll just go, oh no. Anyway, look, we're off to the Gisborne Golf Club, and Dougal's emceeing, who we've never seen. He works for an agency who's booked the gig, and he has volunteered to MC. So he told me he's a comedian. I've never seen him, so we'll just see what happens. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, he hasn't done my course, but
no.
Yeah, what could go wrong, Dave? What could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? All right, well, stay tuned. Gisborne Golf Course, here we come. Yes, here we are back on the debrief. We've done the gig at the Gisborne Golf Club, a triumph, Bradford.
It was quite sweet, Dave. Quite sweet.
Yeah, it was. You were supporting, I was headlining, and Dougal was hosting. As Dougal said, he's not a comedian, so he just warmed up the crowd, and he had a presentation from Monique, who was lovely, who is the events manager, who has been sacked. Controversy.
Yeah, I don't know if she's been sacked so much as your services are no longer required.
Yeah, because the committee got a new catering company to take over the kitchen, and then they said they'll do the functions. She's a full-time. She did 120 functions at that place last year. That's a lot.
130.
130.
Yeah. Because I remember you said, "Well, that's two a week," and I corrected you because my maths pedantry.
And it was very funny when... so it's like Monique's last night, basically.
And she was so gracious.
Yeah, and she was filming you, and she said it's for social media. And you had a very funny line. You said, what did you say? I'd be doing burnouts on that.
I just said, you've been so gracious about the people who sacked you. I'd be doing fucking burnouts on the golf green outside.
That was great.
Yeah, and...
that was great.
Well, I was just trying to be popular.
No, and you succeeded.
But yeah, they were lovely. And I hope he's not listening, but the fellow who did the lights, he should have, after he unpacked the box, he probably should have sent away for the course to work out how they fucking work.
So, as a favour for Monique, he brought his lights down, but he didn't seem to know how to work them. So these are the stage lights, and when we got there, they're like yellow. They're
orange.
They're orange, and I said they're orange. He goes, no, but you don't realise. When you get up there, they're white. I said, no, but they're orange.
Yeah.
And you went up and stood in front of them, and they were still orange. And you see them. I think, wait, maybe he was colourblind.
Maybe he's got cataracts or something about it. I look like Donald Trump.
Yes. And just before you went on, he went up to adjust them, and they fell off the stand.
Oh, you know what he said to me? It was so funny because I went out to ask him to change them before the show started, and he got one of them to a kind of white light.
Yeah, you can change the colour on the back.
And I said to him, "That's great, do that." And I didn't want to stand around watching him do it because I don't think that ever helps anyone. Right?
No, that's right.
So I said, "Just do that." But then I noticed that he'd managed, because what happens is it's just so people understand, they keep pressing a button and the LED light keeps changing.
Change colours, yeah.
Changing. And nobody really, except really good light people, nobody seems to know how these things work.
No.
And they keep, I mean, Terry North and his lights, but they keep pressing a button, and the only thing is that the look on their face is one of constant surprise.
Yes.
But it's in different colours.
Well, he told me there's 150 different combinations. I said, well, put them on white if there's 150 combinations.
I mean, you notice people look more surprised blue
Oh,
than
it
they
was
do.
funny.
They do in orange.
You were there. His mate was shining a torch on it, and it fell off the stand.
Well, then
Oh.
he said, and this is such an Aussie thing, I reckon. He gets one of them to finally do a bit of a white light.
Yes.
And I said, that's great, do that for the other one. And somehow he switched the other one off. And so it had no light. And he didn't realise I was looking. And I said to him, what's going on? And he goes, oh, look, just say to Dave, look, I think Dave said, maybe not too much light. And I'm going, no, you do that. And he looked at me like, oh, you caught me.
At no point did I say not too much light. In fact, I said, I've got a light in my car. Do you want me to get it? And I said, it's an old-fashioned one with a globe. He went, a globe? I went,
yes.
He goes, I don't even make them anymore. I said, well, I got one in the car. A globe? Yeah, I got a globe.
I think that would have been fraud because there was no backdrop. And so there was all that glass behind us. So your light would have just kind of slid and
Shine back.
Smeared all over that glass.
Yeah. You see all the fingerprints.
And I just kept walking down the light, and I could tell every time I walked down the light because people would suddenly shit themselves because I was walking towards them.
Yeah, and the mic was cutting out a bit. But apart from that,
yeah, but no,
it was
lovely audience,
lovely crowd, great crowd. And I'd say older crowd. There was one guy who was picking on who was 20, Oscar.
But do you notice too, like, because it was one of those gigs where, and this happens quite frequently when we do fundraisers for kinders and schools and stuff like that, where they say to people, bring your own food.
Yes.
Right? And I reckon people power drink when they don't have to pay for food.
It's true.
When they can get, like, they can go to Coles and get one of those hampers, like just 3 cheeses and some olives and, some
yeah. I love looking at the different tables and what they've prepared. And some people, I'd have to say mainly women, put in a big effort, and some other people just got a packet of chips. Packet of chips.
Or a compromise. One of those packets of chips that has different chips in it.
Yes.
Different
or
bags.
one packet of dips and some Savoy biscuit. Then other people have the most beautiful looking food with olives and artichoke.
But given that they're now feeding 12 people for like $20 max, that makes them, I think, say to themselves, well, we can really let ourselves go on the booth. Because Monique told me she had to go in town and buy another bottle of gin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fucking $28 pizzas.
The pizzas. She got some pizzas for us.
Yeah.
$28 each.
Two of them didn't even have meat on them.
That's incredible.
I know.
Who was paying? I mean...
I know.
That's inexpensive. Oh, anyway.
Did Domino's know about Gisborne?
Get out there, Domino's, if you're listening.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a good night. We had a good time.
It was a good night, and, we weren't sure how the MC would go, given that he wasn't a comedian.
Well, we've never seen Dougal before. We know him, but we've never seen him.
He didn't, and he said, look, I'm not a comedian, and he didn't try. Well, he tried a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he...
No, he was fine. It's good because he's so tall, Dougal. He commands the room anyway. He's a big unit.
Although he did get my name wrong, which made me suck my teeth in.
Oh, he said Bradley, not Bradford.
Bradley Oaks, And whenever I hear that, I automatically think, oh, I'm not on.
Really?
I know, and people just, people wouldn't understand it. When you're a Bradford, you're a fucking Bradford.
You're a Bradford.
If you were a David, not a David. If you were a David, it would shit you when people say David.
It's a beautiful view of the city.
It is nice.
And there's Sunbury. I hung shit on Sunbury a lot because someone said before I went on, hang shit on Sunbury.
Well, my
Scunbury.
My take on Sunbury and Melton is, did they build the prison first and then build the town? Or did they build the town and then have to build the prison?
Oh, Melton is sort of close to here, isn't it? I saw a sign for Melton.
Yeah. Yeah, Melton and Sunbury have a nexus.
Yeah.
A connection.
A tunnel.
Yeah.
A tunnel.
It's like that old Ringwood Frankston thing.
Ringwood Frankston, the East Link connection. Well, we did well, and we got out of there before 10.
We came, we saw.
Incredible.
I feel like we conquered.
We conquered. We smashed it.
And
we're very happy. So I might as well just ask you the questions, and then we'll.
Yep.
Even though we've got a bit of a drive.
Because we've got, because we've got next week.
We can do it next week together. When are we doing? Lawn's the week
Oh,
after.
the week
that.
after, is it? Yeah.
With Kitty Flanagan.
13th.
Yeah, she wants to do a junkies / debrief merging podcast. A mix up.
Well, hopefully I can get a Guernsey with that, because quite clearly I probably know a lot about junk food and bridging even a longer time span than the two of you.
Oh, yeah, true.
And
also, you were there in the episode of the debrief where we came up with the idea for the junkies.
Where-
From Lawn, too.
Well, not only that, where her initial reluctance
Oh,
suddenly
that was funny.
just exploded into participation when you two
Yeah.
found your mutual love.
She said, I don't want to go on the podcast, I'll just sit in the back. I'll just sit on the back.
Yeah.
And once we started talking about junk food, she took over.
I know.
And the junkies was born.
And it's not often I give up the chair, Dave.
Yes.
Okay, ask me the question.
All right, there you go. What went well tonight and why?
Well, I'd say,
Your new Tinder joke's working well. That's good.
and my new twisted my ankle joke went all right.
Oh, that's good. I didn't hear that.
I'll tell you what worked was I feel like we were looked after when we got there,
Fantastic.
which always makes a difference.
Yeah.
People were friendly, and
Not like the gig you did recently up with everyone, those guys, where the guy made you pay for a Parmigiana.
$28 for a Parmigiana. When had I known, I would have said to him, I could get a pizza in Gisborne for that.
Yeah. And you had to sleep.
Are you crazy?
You had to sleep in a caravan.
I know.
And did the guy treat you badly? Did they?
The guy treated me okay, because I went back to him and I more or less said to him, you're kidding, aren't you? You know that you're charging us all for drinks. But we brought all these people here. But that went bad.
And what did he say?
Well, he just started buying me drinks.
Oh, that's all right.
And I didn't tell the others.
Well, you're the experienced comic, so.
Well, that's it. It's just it doesn't. When we got there, when the guy said to me, "That's your caravan, you're sharing with him," and I went, "Nah, guess again," right? Because I couldn't believe it, and I had to get drunk to sleep in the caravan.
And this was how far from Melbourne? It was like Maffra or something, was it?
No, it was near Murbu North, which is the extreme of South Gippsland. You're on your way to, say, probably on your way to the prom, St. Wilson's prom, or something like that, in there, and I'm old.
I would have driven back.
I'm old. I don't share with anyone.
No.
For a start. Also, I don't sleep in caravans because I didn't run away to join a circus.
So where'd you sleep?
Well, I slept in a caravan, but I had to get poleaxe drunk to be able to do it, and then woke up in the morning and just woke up disoriented in the morning with a hangover, and just thought to myself, "Oh my God, I'm a teenage prostitute." And then I remember what had happened.
Oh, fun.
So anyway,
what didn't go well
tonight?
Yeah.
Well, I think we've isolated the
lights.
The lights.
Well, that's the next question. Any organisational hazards get in the way? Well, the mic cut out, and it would have been good to have a little bit of a stage.
Well, it would have been nice to have a bit of a stage, particularly given
it's just stood on the floor.
Yeah, given that what I'd be about 10 centimetres shorter than you, maybe 12. Also, it was one of those situations where there was no way in the world that mic was going into that mic clip.
Oh, that was funny too. So that Peter bought the lighting guy bought that stand.
Yeah, and he should have rung. He should have rung the guy with the mic and just said, do you think? Because I looked.
It didn't fit.
I know, and I looked like I had an acquired brain injury because I kept trying to put it into there, and to the point where people are going, don't do it, Oaksy, don't do it.
So
that, and I think the backdrop, it's always fraught when you're working with glass behind you.
Yes.
And at least the kangaroos weren't making love to each other by the time we went on, but they were earlier.
Yeah. Right.
And so I think that, and sight lines. But I felt people were arrayed, probably,
Yeah,
and I have to come back to it. That was just very nice.
I love it. How can we do better next time?
Well, it's just a 6 to 12 inch stage make a hell of a difference. Maybe talk to people about the lights and say the clues in the name.
Lights.
What do lights do? They light people up.
They light.
Yes.
Funny.
Rather than they're not as heavy as the old ones.
It's good fun.
And but apart from that, no. Look,
It's great.
Can I complain about a gig like that, Dave?
No, we can't.
It's a lot of fun and very
Not
nice.
for some of the ones I've had recently.
Well,
Can't complain. No complaint from me.
Yeah. Do you when you have a bummer by yourself? Do you do the debrief by yourself? Like sit in the middle of the car.
Yeah. Just go.
Because what did you have? Were you coming back by it? Or did you?
Last night when we did the Catholic school, we were together, me and Ivan. But then I went and did my gig, and he did a gig, but we didn't travel home together from the CBD. No. But the second gig I did for the private party, with the kids hanging off me singing Baby Shark, that wasn't that bad. I did well. It wasn't that bad. It was just like
the fact that you say
Baby
the
Shark.
kids hang off me singing Baby Shark. That wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. I've had worse.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I know there's worse songs.
Yeah.
But there is that element of like if you're driving home by yourself. Like I drove home on that gig up near Myrtleford once down the Hume Highway, and I got to that point. This is my old my old Gets, which is not the safest car, and I drove through that storm from Seymour to Melbourne, where I didn't want to pull over, even though I passed many cars that pulled over. The fog and the storm, and it was all horrible. Plus, it had been quite a tough gig.
Yeah.
Which eventually worked. But I was just thinking to myself, in that, and every now and then a car would go past me in the same direction in that other lane, doing the speed limit. And I think, have you got, like, what kind of vision have you got?
Yeah, right.
To be able to see and do that speed. And so you think to yourself, like, God, I wish I had somebody to talk to about this.
Yes. Yeah.
And he's lonely, and we've done a lot of K's by ourselves.
Yeah. It's a lonely job.
But,
I remember talking to Rod Quantock, and he said there's these tours you can do of regional Tasmania and New South Wales and Victoria. You go by yourself for days on end, and these small. And he goes, "You've got to love your own company, though."
Oh yeah. But look, nowadays it's a bit different. I suppose you got podcasts and you got Spotify,
phones,
and phones and Tassie. I mean, really, you can't. If you're lost in Tassie, you just get out and stand on the top of your car.
Have a look.
You can see where you are.
Beautiful.
You only got to drive for an hour and you hit the coast somewhere. But,
true.
It's a great shot at Melbourne Airport there.
Look at that, Melbourne Airport's over on the left.
Look at that, no planes taking off.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back. Me and Brad will be appearing again on the debrief. Gigs will be coming up. But thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks, Brad.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.